about, would I come today and speak? And I said, yeah, I'll come and speak. And as y'all know, speaking is not my most favorite thing. I know it goes with the deal, and so therefore here I am. Todd, thank you for all you said. Vernon, all you said. And I'm looking forward to serving with you guys. And, I'm going to do my level best to work with the whole board if they'll permit it. I'm open to it, and we'll do the best we can with it. But I came in last night. I hadn't gotten rested yet, but I thought, what am I going to speak on tomorrow? And I had read this in my devotion book not too long ago, and I'm going to share it with you today. Nancy has been brutally honest with me more than one time. I ran for office twice. The first time I ran, I don't know if my motives were right. I became angry. Not going to call any names here, but y'all know who one of my opponents were. You know who all of them were. But I became angry because a certain person said, I'm going to get this person to run because he will work with me. And that happened across the table at the Waffle House. And my heart sunk. It just, whoop. I said, oh no. I went home, pretended to be praying, but all I was doing was kicking rocks and fussing. And I came in the house and I told my wife what was going on. She said, well, what are you going to do about it? I said, I'm going to run it. She said, no, whose money are you going to use? I said, mine. So we got into this thing. And this morning, I was talking to Ron Davis, and he said, you know, Tony, sometimes you have to prepare, you've been prepared, because I ran that time, lost by a small margin. I went to a runoff, and then the next time I ran was for the chairman's seat. And I had reasons for doing that. And I believe my motives was right. You never get into a race thinking, I'm going to lose this thing, that's what I want to do. You get into it, I'm going to win this thing. And when I've always put my hands to the plow, I stay there. I don't care what it's been in my life, that's me, that's part of me. I lost once again by a small margin. Very little financial support. Was running on my name recognition here in the county, and my reputation has been an honest man. That's what I was running on. So I lost again. Well, sometime later, when you get out of these things, and especially if you're losing, now Vernon, you've lost one, you know what it's like. But when you lose after giving all you got, you're staggered. You think, gosh, why did I put my family through this? Why did I put me through this? But it's part of the deal. This morning, well, before that, I'm going to back up. Nancy told me at one point, she had talked to one of our senators and said, better question yourself if you're electable or not, or you're not. But Nancy, you've always supported me, right? Always. She's wore a lot of shoe leather out. She's been very supportive of me. And so when she comes to you and she's brutally honest, you have to listen. Not just her, but there's other people came to me and said, look, what do you think? So this time, I had some encouragement from some of the folks here in this room to get back in this thing. Well, I didn't want to get back in this. A lot of you guys don't know, when I was in the Navy, we used to have on our ship what we call smokers. And smokers was an event where you boxed. Well, I was by no stretch of the imagination a professional fighter, but I would fight. And you did 3 rounds. They were 1-minute rounds. You wore headgear. It wasn't like these guys do 3-minute rounds and professional. But they put me in the ring with a guy who outweighed me. He was taller than me, and he was a Marine from the Marine Division. And he knocked me down in the first 12 seconds of this fight. And I thought, gosh, this guy hits hard. So this thing went the 3 rounds. The last round, the guy that was supposed to be my trainer, he was a cook, and his name was Cook. He said, Crowe, I wouldn't blame you if you don't come off this stool. I won't. If you want to leave right now, get out. And I'm thinking, you're talking me into it. I'm ready to get out of here. I've been knocked down both rounds. So he said, but I wouldn't blame you, Crowe, if you left. But it worked for the best the 3rd round. It come out okay. So this time, there's where I was at. I'm thinking, I really am not interested in getting back into this thing. But I'm thankful for the support of not just the people who voted for me. That's some people, that's all they did was vote for me, and that's what put me here. But there were people behind the scenes that worked. I had a lot of backing. But leadership, I want you to know, don't come from a college degree. You gain much knowledge. I wished I had much more education. I wish that everybody could get an education. But you get educated in different areas. But I read this in my devotion book, and I want to share it with you guys this morning. It meant a lot to me when I read it, and I've read it several times. But it starts off, it's a little thing. It says, experience is not what happens to a man, but what a man does with what happens to him. And it goes on to say, I wish you could know how it feels to run with all your heart and lose horribly. I wish you could achieve some great good for mankind, but have nobody know about it except you. I wish you could find something so worthwhile that you deem it worthy of investing your life within. I hope you become frustrated and challenged enough to begin to push back the very barriers of your own personal limitations. I hope you make a stupid mistake and get caught red-handed, and you're big enough to say those magic words, I was wrong. I hope you give so much of yourself that some days you wonder if it's worth all the effort. I wish you for every magnificent obsession that you will give you reason in living for purpose and direction in life. I wish for you the worst of every kind of everything you do, because that makes you fight and achieve beyond what you could normally would. I wish for you the experience of leadership. And leadership comes by failures and experiences. And I want y'all to pray for me that I would be the kind of leader for Post Forward for this county that I want to be. And I want to thank all of you that supported me. Most everybody in this room reached out to me at one time or another and said, Tony, we're supporting you. And so, because of the support the county gave me, I promise you, I'm going to support them. Thank you.